Okay, so my topic for today is what is the elders? so, sorry. To get comfortable, I watch my own videos to just give myself feedback, and I'm like, Kara, sit still. Kara, sit still. Can you practice sitting still? Really bad. Okay, so what are the elders? Now, when you have like a thing, you have to actually go into each culture and understand like what is the elders in their specific culture. So I know some people call the elders on the mundane level their grandfather or their grandmother. Some people in the spiritual community call the elders is usually the person with the most wisdom. They would call it the sage. So I don't know, whenever I'm like challenged with the elders, it's very difficult because it challenges limiting beliefs of like, just because they're older they know more. When on a soul level your soul actually knows more than the elder you've just you know I see a lot of ego in the elders energy. Sometimes they're like, oh, I'm older than you, I know more than you, which is completely inaccurate. I can like debunk that myth in 2 seconds. Someone that goes to university and is 22 has more wisdom than the older. So I don't know, I've been working on like how people power play you, because genuinely like I don't really like to be power played. I don't think anyone likes to be power played, so I don't understand why people do it. I don't know. I don't know. I think when you talk about like um an elder, I think there's a lot of illusions about it, because there's a lot of people that um a true elder is someone that actually has the wisdom. And I say this from like, let's say a child who's been practicing art for 4 years can be an elder to people, rather than someone that hasn't even started art in their lifetime, they were just watching. So sometimes there's a lot of tension sometimes when we go through awakenings, because what we're taught linearly doesn't match the spiritual perspective. And I think that's why a lot of us struggle when God tells us things, because God, I'm seeing it this way, how can this be true? You're saying this, but I'm not. And I say this like when God say, okay, you're healed, do you think you can look into yourself and say, if your heart is broken, let's look at the heartbreak one, because people have been asking a lot of questions about that one. If God says your heart is healed, you know can you think that, can you prove that, can you prove that all of a sudden you're no longer feeling heartbreak? No, you have to come to terms with that you're not feeling heartbreak. So I think a lot of people struggle is because they're more thinking with their logical mind instead of their sensory mind, like how they feel. I always say this because a lot of people, I love this one TV show, it explains a lot, and it actually helps me navigate reality a little bit better, and it's called Love is Blind. And what they do is they literally just put a screen like, and they ask you to, if you blocked out your visuals, what does it feel like? So I was having this challenge with my spirit guide, and he said, take away the title of who they are, tell me what you feel they are without even putting their name there, because the minute when you put someone's name there you already have something. So he was like, okay, and he was saying like, okay, this is someone, okay, take away their name and what do you think they really feel like? It's like kind of like, if you took away this and you took away my eyes and you gave me this to feel, I'll be like, okay, this is a microphone. But if someone told me that this is a hairbrush, and I'm like, because sometimes we get lied to, sometimes we get false truths and stuff like that. So if someone says this is a thing, so in my mental beliefs I'm like, okay, but this is a hairbrush because I was told this is a hairbrush. But then they say like, take away your visual sight and you feel this. I'm like, no, this feels like a microphone. So that's kind of where we're going through. Like, someone said to me that if you're on a path of truth, you will naturally feel confusion, because you are unpacking lies. Does that make sense? So like, you're so used to the lie that when you're coming into the uncomfortable truth, it takes you a bit of while because you're confused, because one part of you saying this is green and the other part of you saying this is red, but it can either only be red or green. So I know Mercury retrograde just ended, so a lot of people were getting guided on lessons of like, that confusion is natural. I mean, I was watching some TV show skits and they were saying, no, I'm confused. And I think sometimes we lose touch of it, because I think sometimes we're like in this perfect that, oh, if I'm not confused, I'm if I'm confused, it's wrong, you know. And for me, I feel like there's a natural confusion that you can experience, you know, like when you're in class and like, teacher, I'm confused, like, is this or this, you know, when you're still in a learning phase. And then when people actually go out their way to confuse you because they have habits that need to be dealt with. But anyways, lots of love.